Iran is continuing its crackdown at home and today executed a man connected with the 2022 protests. Mohammed Qubadloo was accused of running over and killing a policeman and injuring 5 others during those protests. Qubadloo's mother appealed to the victim's family to spare her son from death row. Amnesty International said Qubadloo had a long-standing mental illness which would make his execution illegal under international law. It is part of a worrying trend of increased executions in Iran. In 2022, executions increased nearly 75% on the previous year, according to human rights groups. And they say the rise reflects an effort by Tehran to instill fear among anti-regime protesters. Hadi Gaemi of the Center for Human Rights in Iran says, quote, the execution of 23-year-old Mohammed Qubadloo in Iran stands as a glaring injustice, a murder carried out under the guise of a judicial process that lacks any semblance of fairness. It is a stark example of state-sanctioned killing that demands urgent global attention. And Hadi Gaemi joins me now live from London. So thank you so much for joining us today. When we saw the announcement of Mohammed Qubadloo's execution that happened this morning, we saw these very difficult images, specifically from his family and also outside the prison as well. What is your reaction to this announcement and the way that it was carried out?
Indeed, it was a very horrifying and terribly sad day today to wake up to the news of a young 23-year-old man being hanged yet again in Iran. And especially because in recent days, his lawyer had informed the public that the Supreme Court is ordering an investigation into the case, and the case cannot be implemented, the sentence. So it was shocking, horrible, and a tragedy, really, that the Iranian government continues getting away with murder and killing innocent civilians.
The reality is that we've seen 8 protesters that have been executed since the death of Mahsa Amini. I want you to give me a bit of insight so we understand how this process works in terms of, the judicial process, and then importantly, where the families get to see their loved ones during this process before they're executed. As I said, 8 protests have already been executed since 2022.
Yes, the most important thing we should note is that the Iranian judiciary is not independent and is not meant to implement the law or serve justice. They are very clear about that their entire purpose is to uphold the Iranian system of government and repress the opposition to it or any voices of dissent. So, for example, in case of Qubadloo, like many cases leading to execution and prison sentences, the only evidence in court are confessions extracted under torture, a practice illegal under Iran's own law. But we see over and over again that these coarse confessions are the only reason they issue the sentences. And in case of Qubadloo, it was terribly troubling because he suffered from mental illness and there are years of records of his medical treatment. And yet the judiciary really doesn't want to face any truth or evidence of what really happened. It is really a political tool for shedding blood and intimidating the general population, especially the young people who rose up last year.